What's going on, y'all? Double T here, back with another video. Hope you guys are doing well. And today we have a special guest, a very special guest. This is Echoes here, and he is a childhood friend of mine, actually. We've known each other for almost 2 decades, I want to say, at this point, which is pretty crazy to think about. At least like 15 years. So probably, I think we're coming on 2 decades now because. Well, maybe not quite that long. Maybe like 15, 16 years, something like that.
Yeah,
Because we were in middle school when we met.
because we met in sixth grade, and what that was shit. We're
Yeah.
old now. That was like what 2010, 2010 maybe.
Sixth grade,
Oh wait,
probably. So yeah, like 16 years.
yeah. That's not.
That's pretty insane.
We're still young, you know.
Like,
Double T is always a good friend of mine, and we always try to catch up and see each other. And especially when it comes to
sure.
gaming topics, we don't see eye to eye sometimes, but we still have respectful gaming opinions. So I'm happy to be here as
Yes.
well. So,
Yeah. We definitely have some different tastes in games, but there's plenty of classic games that we both like. Plenty of games that we both played growing up, whether that's multiplayer, when we're at each other at our own houses playing multiplayer on Xbox 360, or if it was like I was at his house for the weekend, he was at my house, and we were playing co-op or something like that. Plenty of times like that as well. So definitely have a lot of memories,
hmm
gaming memories for sure shared between us two. And I guess we can kind of start there. I have like a rough outline, but this is more of a just a raw conversation. And this is a pretty different style of video for the channel, but I thought it would be fun because David is honestly like one of those guys that, or Echoes is one of those guys that definitely like didn't like not force me. He like kind of shaped me gaming growing up. I like had gamed before, like, I had a PS2 growing up before I even moved to the area that he moved to or that he lived. And before we met, like I had a PS2 and then I had Xbox 360 and I gamed, but I wasn't like super heavy into gaming. And then I met David, and David was my first like close friend, I would say, besides like one of my neighbors that was really, really into gaming and like that showed me more games that weren't just the super mainstream games. So yeah, I guess I want to say, what was gaming like for you growing up, Echoes, and how did that like change over time? Maybe that's kind of a two-part question, but how was gaming for you growing up? Why did you enjoy games? What type of games were you playing? All that good stuff.
Man, gaming started for me when I was super young. Like ever since like my earliest memories has been around video games. I started out with a Nintendo 64. Like very like
Heck
practically
yeah.
since I was born, that console was around. And I remember playing Super Mario 64, Star Fox, and Mario Kart and all those things. And that first got me into gaming were those three main titles, whether it was playing with my brother or just like the local neighborhood kids. And eventually, what that evolved to was we had a next door neighbor that had an Xbox. And that's when everything
Mhm.
really changed my game taste because I'm mainly more of a mature title person. And that was because I was introduced to a
Yeah,
game that you recently played for the first time was Halo. I was introduced to Halo, I want to
Combat
say,
Evolved.
yeah, Combat Evolved. I want to say I was introduced to that right when it came out. Like I was probably like 4 or 5, and I went over to a neighbor's house, and we weren't allowed to play it, but we played it anyways, kind of deal. And that's when my whole gaming really came to be, where I wanted an Xbox, I wanted to play Halo, and that of course introduced me to getting a 360, like the golden days for us, like online, and really introduced me to Call of Duty, where that was a hard game to get for me because of the controversy of Modern Warfare 2 when that came out, all of that
Yep.
stuff. And that's how I kind of grew up with gaming. It kind of launched from there. Was I started off with the basic Nintendo, introduced to Mario, but then right when I was introduced to Halo and having those that mature kind of feeling of games, kind of shaped for the games that I continued to play. Um, and it's always fun to look back on where we don't really see it nowadays because everything is online. But I'll never forget the days where like you brought up earlier where you have a friend come over and you got to show them a new game, just popping it in your console and giving them another controller and just having fun in the same room. And I think without those experiences, I don't think I would be continuing to play games and playing it online now because it built those connections growing up. And
100%.
that shaped me. But I remember when I first met you and your gaming tastes were way different from mine. You were kind of still like, I think you would play games that like you just could get your hands on. Like I still remember when you talked about Pac-Man World 2, and I'll never forget. I thought that was
Hmm.
the dumbest thing as a kid. Like I didn't know. Like I was like, oh, Pac-Man. Like Pac-Man's like a 3D like collectathon. I was like, nah, that game can't be good. And then like it just got came out with a re-release, so like I still
Yeah,
need to check that game out. But I think when
banger.
when when we met, you kind of introduced me to be like, hey, I still need to attach to my kid side still. I was still trying to grow up way too fast with the mature stuff. But
Mm,
that was kind of my upbringing with gaming is to
yeah.
sum it all up. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with a lot of that, especially like the couch co-op. Like I remember especially like going over to your house growing up, we would have some other friends come over and I mean there were those games. I mean even when we're getting older like high school era, like speed runners, like those type of games where we could just play that for hours and it was just
Mhm.
that's like endless memories right there. And it's definitely harder as you're like we're pretty much full grown adults now, adulting and living our own separate lives. It's hard to get that like couch co-op experience, and I feel like even in the general gaming space, it's probably like very much so less common in my opinion. I mean, of course, there's still people doing it, and there's still plenty of co-op games, but I feel like most of the co-op games people are playing just online, so they're like at their
Mhm.
own houses and they're playing together. Like, might be in the same party or whatever, same Discord chat, but they're not literally next to each other on the couch like that original couch co-op was meant to be, or at least how it was when we were growing up and before us.
Yeah,
So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
yeah, it's like I remember the three main games that we would play like at my house that I introduced you to was Ghost Recon,
Hmm.
Future Soldier, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and I
Yeah,
remember the other two games. I remember one game I introduced you to. You just had fun watching me play was Mortal Kombat 9. I'll never forget that when I
yeah,
was trying to beat Shao Kahn, and that boss was so hard. We just sat there and you were just cheering me on trying to beat that thing. And it took
yeah,
a while to beat that guy. But then we also had
yeah.
two other buddies come over to play Halo 4. Like we were excited for Halo 4 to come out. And I remember having
Hmm.
our two friends, just all of us in a room, like four guys, just sitting there playing Halo 4 multiplayer all night. Where it even got to the point where
Yeah,
I think we fell asleep and they played all night and we didn't even realize it. And we woke up and they're like, dude, we hit the max level, max XP you can get in one day. And we were just shocked. But yeah,
yeah,
it's not the same. Like it's like online is great in a way where it can connect people kind of like us. Like we live in different areas right now and we can stay connected,
yeah,
but just nothing beats the feeling of having someone next to you and having those fun moments in person and just really experiencing having a good time together. And then also it's like if you guys got done playing a video game, it wasn't just like, hey, I'll talk to you later, we click offline, right? We still got to talk and really share those memories and bond that like you don't really see nowadays through online interactions.
yeah, yeah, 100%. It's
Hmm.
definitely harder to come by. And if you have like, we have a pretty solid friend group that still like keeps in touch and stuff. And a lot of times we're even just playing our own separate games, but we're just talking about what games we're playing, or maybe sometimes playing some shared games. You know that I'm a more of a console player these days. A lot of y'all are PC players. You're big into Switch as well.
Hmm.
and we'll get into that. But uh, yeah, so a lot of the Steam games I don't really have access to. Also, I am running a like Acer laptop from 2015, 2016. We were just talking about, and yeah, it's that's my PC, that's my gaming setup, and or really just editing because I can't even run any games. It used to run like Combat or not Combat Evolved, but the Master Chief Collection. I used to be able to run that a little bit and play those games, but ever since I started like getting more heavy into editing and now that I have like footage on my memory and stuff like that, I think that it's just too much for this little laptop to handle. So I can't really run anything, unfortunately. But that's why I'm more of a console gamer. But yeah, some memories that I have like jotted down before we hit record was I remember so vividly for some reason, and this was well after the game came out, but I remember I went to go sleep over at your house. It was like Friday night after school, whatever, and we went to GameStop. And it was right when you were getting heavy into Halo ODST, specifically the firefight mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were at GameStop. I picked up Halo 3 ODST. I had Halo 3 and I had played 3 and I loved Halo at that time, but I'd never played ODST at all. And you got into it and you were like, dude, the firefight mode is sick. Like we got to play it. We can play it online, multiplayer. It's really cool. And so I picked it up, and I even remember because it was rated M. And so like your mom called my mom to like make sure it
Yeah.
was cool for me to pick up the game. But I got the game, and I think it was like 14 or $15. So it was definitely a little bit of ways after a game came out for sure. But you were getting into it, and I think some of our other friends had it as well. So then we could all play it. And then that is like a cherished memory of mine. For some reason, I always remember that. And then I remember getting Firehouse subs after. That was like one of our classic go-to
Yeah.
places. Um, and then I also remember you like you would buy a lot of the new games. You get a lot of the new games, and then sometimes, let's say you bought a new game, you would beat it, and then you'd hit us up and be like, "Hey, if y'all want to buy these," because then you were trying to save up for the next new game. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember getting some games from you for like much cheaper than retail price. So I remember getting like Far Cry 3, Borderlands 2, a lot of like classic games like that for the 360 era from you, and these are like after you had played them, or you'd already experienced them, and then I would get them like a couple months later, whatever, when you're ready to buy that new game. So that was always a good memory for me.
Yeah,
But
dude. I was a little hustler, man. Like I had to get the
you definitely were.
new stuff. Like I remember like I would like and I did that since elementary school, like second, third grade.
Yeah.
Like I would just
Hmm.
have like a stack of games and I'm like, "Hey, $10. Like I'm trying to get the new game. If you guys haven't
Yep.
bought it, here you go." And that would work out for me really well. And what's funny enough is since you started collecting old retro stuff, well, retro, I guess, for what we grew up with. Whenever you started those
Yeah.
collections, I actually started regretting selling all my games, like, because I kind of
Hmm.
miss having all of them. Like, even though like I may not be able to like to play them, I think it's just so much fun just to have it for memory's sake. And
Yeah.
I've talked to you in the past where like currently I'm building a Switch collection, right? Because
Hmm.
that's the last real form of physical media for games I feel like that's still around and still coming out with stuff. Like I honestly
Yep.
feel like after the Switch 2, we're not going to see it anymore. So I'm stocking up on all these Switch games just so I can still have them. And if I have kids one day, I can share those memories with my kids. Be like, hey, these are games I played like
Yep.
20, 30 years ago. So I do actually regret selling those things. So it's funny that you brought that up, and seeing you retro
Hmm.
hunt has been so much fun to see you just be
Yeah.
like, oh, like I found this game and everything like that, and I'm like, I loved that game, never tried that out. So I
Yep.
always look forward to your pickup videos just to be like, oh, what did he pick up this week? And once in a while, I'm
Yeah.
like, I should do it someday. But
100%, man. I mean, if you ever want to get into it, I would definitely recommend like if you just want it, because also a lot of like, especially if you want to go back to like just the 360 era, like 360s right now, man, they're pretty cheap. Like you can get a 360 even probably with some games for like a little over $100 on eBay, and that's pretty good. Or even find it at a local store. Like that one that I got, let's see, now I guess it's like 2 years maybe when I rebought my 360. I got like a 360 and 14 games, two controllers, and it was like $130 or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Which, in terms of collecting, that's pretty dang good. And when you're talking about like value and bang for your buck, the 360 obviously has like endless titles, like banger after banger. There's so many good games in the like seventh generation of gaming. And later I got a PS3 and I have those games too. But yeah, the 360, man, that's a classic.
Yeah,
Um,
I need to pick up a GameCube because I actually retro bought. I
GameCube.
bought Melee, the Mario baseball game. I don't think it's Sluggers. I think it's a different one. I got the one for GameCube, and then I got Double
Mhm.
Dash. So it's like, and I got controllers. So it's like
Classics.
I just need to go buy a GameCube. But
Yeah. Do you have a Wii or no?
no, I
Right
don't. So
now?
I
Okay.
could get a Wii that has the GameCube feature on it. I know some don't.
Yeah.
So I could do that too and have a two-in-one.
Yeah. GameCube is a really classic console as well. I never had a GameCube growing up, but I
Oh,
had a
dude.
PlayStation 2. But my neighbor growing up, my next door neighbor had a GameCube and had like pretty much every game that you could think of for GameCube, especially any of like the first party stuff, any of the Mario stuff, Sonic stuff. He had all those games, so that's where I got my experience with that. The Mario Baseball,
Yeah.
Double Dash, endless hours of playing Double Dash, and then even like some of the Sonic games and stuff like that. He was big into that. So
Yeah,
yeah, GameCube was cool.
that's also a core memory of mine because I went over to your neighbor's house to play games a
Yep.
little bit, so I know exactly
Hmm.
what you're talking about. And they were loaded with some good stuff.
Yeah.
It was
Oh
fun.
yeah, they had all like the first party Nintendo titles. I remember him getting like Galaxy and then Galaxy 2, like right when they came out and stuff, when you're talking about like the Wii era, everything. They had all those games and those are a blast, man.
Yeah.
I actually reconnected with that friend more a little recently and I was like chopping it up with him over TikTok actually. I found him on TikTok and I was talking with him, and he actually makes some TikToks, not gaming TikToks, but just like random stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I was talking with him, and he was like, "Oh, I see you're like a big game collector now. That's cool and stuff." Because I wasn't like huge into game collecting back in the day. Like I had games, but I wasn't huge into it. What was I thinking of? Oh, when you were mentioning like getting rid of your games, like growing up, and as you're wanting new ones, the new stuff comes out, whatever. I still one of my biggest regrets, and I feel like most people that are our age or even younger, but in our space, right, in the gaming space that love gaming and had like grew up with different consoles and stuff, eventually they had probably gotten to a point where they wanted the new console and they traded in their old console
Yep.
for the new one to GameStop or whatever, but most likely GameStop, like I did. I remember trading in my 360 and pretty much all of my games. I kept like my OG, like Halo 3 and like Forza and some of the classic games, but pretty much everything else I traded in, and I traded that in for the PS4 when that came out. And I remember I probably got fleeced on that deal because
Oh,
I
you
traded
did.
in like my 360, all my games, and I had like barely enough for the PS4, and I still had to pay like another $100 or something like that, even to get the PS4. And then I think I got Advanced Warfare and GTA 5 or something like that, like when
Oh
the
man,
console
dude.
launched. Yeah, but that, like thinking back on that, I'm like, oh man, like that really sucks because I remember having like a whole cardboard box full of like all the games that I had and stuff. And I remember I still don't even have some of those games that I haven't recollected yet. But yeah, those are like the core memories that suck to look back on when you're like, dang, I really should have kept those. And I'm pretty sure most people have that. I mean, I remember trading my 3DS too, stuff like that. I wish I would have
Oh,
kept that.
dude. The 3DS is the worst
Yeah,
one, man, because they're expensive nowadays.
they're really expensive. I had like um the Mario and Luigi specialty console, 3DS XL. I had that one, and I only had a few 3DS games, but I remember having like I had Luigi's Mansion New Moon. That's the one I got the console for. Yeah, I remember selling that, and that's very unfortunate because yeah, their 3DS prices are insane right now.
Yeah,
And it's some that's
just so that you can mod it. Like I don't know where mine is.
yeah.
I'm looking for it right now, but what's funny is like I pulled it out just for fun. Is I have my DS Lite still,
Oh heck
where
yeah.
my sister-in-law's dad had it. So she was like, "Hey, we're gonna try to sneak this away from him. You want it?" I'm like, "Sure." So I was able to get that for free.
Nice.
So
Heck yeah, and that's cool because you can play the GBA games on that too.
yep.
So I remember I had just the classic black one. Um, and then at some point, I don't even remember getting rid of that or selling it, but at some point I did. I'm sure for like $20 or something stupid.
Hmm.
And like all my OG DS games. Now I just have a 2DS. But yeah, so now that we've gotten through some of the gaming memories, let's see, we're about 20 minutes in. We can keep going a little longer if you don't mind. I mean, I'm just chilling,
Hey,
so
I'm
we
I'm
can
chilling with you
keep
as
going.
well. I'm
Cool.
a rambler, so if I need to go to the next topic, you just let me know. You're just like, "Hey, man,
No, no, you're
we gotta
good.
keep
This is
going."
how this is how it should be. Just free form, just bouncing off each other, whatever. This is a very like laid back kind of I don't even know podcast episode or what. I don't even know what I'm going to title this video because
Dude, if
I
we're
don't know
at
if maybe it'll be like
if we're
an
at 20
episode
minutes
one.
in, it either be
Yeah,
a podcast or it can be a multi-episode thing for you at this point.
right.
So,
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this could be a multi-episode thing because there could be plenty of like we could have certain episodes where we're like, hey, let's talk about this topic right now or whatever, of like even like current state of gaming type of topics if we
yeah.
wanted to do that.
Just let
But
us know in the comments what if you want to see more of this and your possible topic
100%.
ideas, like and how you prefer this kind of content. Probably help him double T out, and he'll probably get if you like my content. I'm more than happy to jump on here too and talk about it. Just let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know down below if you guys want to see more of this kind of content from us. If you guys want to see Echoes on the channel more often, I'd love to have him on more. So you guys definitely let me know, and I'll have his channel linked in the description below as well. So you guys go check out his channel. He makes awesome content, and like you said, it might not be every week, every month, but whenever he makes content, whenever he makes videos, I always make sure to watch it. It's always very entertaining. So definitely go check him out. But yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you guys are doing great. Let me know also what games you guys are currently playing. You guys kind of know what we're playing right now, so I'd love to know what y'all are playing. But yeah, hope you guys have a good one, and look forward to more episodes of this in the future. But I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.